Okay, what's going on, Vibe 609 audience? This is James King L. About to do an interview with Joshua Robinson, who is an American songwriter, gospel artist, record producer, musician. He is known for using a variety of different styles in his music, such as R&B, neo soul, funk, and quartet. His gift was birthed in a small Baptist church in Bronx, New York, and further cultivated as he relocated to New Jersey. Joshua Robinson has written, composed, and produced four solo records, such as his newest single, From Darkness to His Light, the gospel album, making his transition from secular R&B to gospel. Joshua has also worked with other artists such as the group Fire, playing piano on their newest record, Heat the Land, and is also their keyboardist, and also shared the stage with gospel legend Fred Hammond on the 2021 BET Soul Train Awards. So, welcome, Joshua Robinson.
Thank you for having me, brother. I appreciate it, man.
Well, the pleasure is all ours, brother.
Yes, sir.
I want to start off by asking you what what first got you into music?
Um, I just gravitated towards it at a very young age. My mother told me when I was a baby that she noticed I used to take interest in the vibrations, and so with that being said, when it came down to like the actual being in church, hearing, you know, the musicians that first started me off with my interest in music, hearing them play all the time, it just made me curious. And so at 4 years old I started, and that's just been a long journey up to now. So it's a altogether it's a 20-year journey that I've been doing this, man.
Awesome. Who inspired you to make music?
Um I God, really. It started with that because I mean, I have influences, but nobody really made. I never really like looked at somebody who was like, yeah, I want to do music. You know, it just kind of that was already what I wanted to do. So I think that's just something a seed that God planted into me at a young age. You know.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
How would you describe the music that you typically create?
Um. Well, I could say a lot of things, but I just think what I try to do is not make all of my music sound the same.
Mm-hmm.
So I give it a variety, but one thing I can always say is it's gonna have some soul in it. Gotta have something. It has to be well seasoned enough for me to taste. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. What is your creative process like?
um, well, normally I start the music first. Um, just playing some melody on the keys if I like it. Then I might lay it down, put some drums on it, and then just build from there. Instrumentation, auxiliaries. Then I do vocals. I do vocals separately, but I need the music first. But for the most part, there are times when I literally hear the song like playing all the way throughout. And so my creative process is simple because I pretty much make the music that I hear in my head, but it's not on wax. Like nobody's ever done it. So that's just how it comes to me. But I think that's a God-given gift that I'm very grateful of having.
Who would you like to most collaborate with?
I'm an open book, man. As long as it makes sense, and I'm an open book. But I do want to do a collaboration with Stevie Wonder. I would love to work with him. I mean, we talking dead or alive or just period?
Just period.
Okay. Oof. Rodney Jerkins, I want to work. He's alive still, but it just popped into my head. Rodney Jerkins, I definitely want to work with him. Warren Campbell, I like to work with him. Um, I take more interest in working with producers just because it's a different mindset. But at the same time, different artists, like even though I worked with Fred Hammond like on a stage, I want to work with him in the studio. But I know he just said he recently retired, so it would have been nice, but yeah, so somebody like that. There's a lot of even young gospel cats like Kalante Gavin. He's really good. Um, yeah, I'm like I said, I'm really an open book, so it doesn't if it makes sense, as long as it makes sense, you know. I I can't say that I'm going to do any features doing anything outside of gospel, but we can make some killer gospel records. You know, I'm with it.
Okay, if you could be an opener for any artist, who would that be?
So here's my thing, right? I feel like, you know, we're entering into a time where gospel could be crossed over into different arenas. It's been done before with Kirk Franklin, you know, with Stomp. That was a crossover record. Um, of course, the intent will always be Jesus, but I think you really know you're accepted by, you know, the people, the target audience that you need to target when it's outside of the gospel arena. So you can bring the gospel to a Lil Baby concert. Now, not to say that that's something that, you know, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Like I said, it got to make sense because at the end of the day, with a lot of stuff that's going on in the industry, we need God more than we do ever. And then even just with the times that we're in, we need God more than ever. So anybody that wants to spread the message of Jesus, knowing that now is the time to do so, it don't matter who it is, you know. That's smart. That's where I'm at with it at this point, you know. But I'm like I said, I'm an open book, you know. But it would be an honor to work with anybody who, you know, who wants to uplift the name of Christ with me.
That's fantastic. That's a that's a that's a very interesting mindset you have, and I think you're thinking in the now, and
Yeah,
that's what's necessary right about now, in my opinion.
yes, sir.
Um, what is what is one message you would give to your fans?
Um, well, I always have this word of encouragement that I tell anybody. Um, you have to not wait, not always wait for opportunities, but sometimes put yourself in a position to where you make your own opportunity. And when you do that, you're not only showcasing what it is that needs to be seen, but you're inspiring those that are around you as well. And they can't have nothing but respect for you if you, you know, take initiative to pave your own way. Of course, always be obedient to what God tells you because that's what's gonna last. You know, what you do for Christ shall last, and what we ought not to sway away from what God wants us to do because that's what we're destined to do. That's what we're supposed to do. So um yeah, of course wait on God, but at the same time, don't wait on man because man isn't gonna do it for you.
Well said. What is the most useless talent you have?
um I know how to roll. I do a belly roll. They call it a belly roll. It's like when your stomach, I don't know how to explain it. It's
Like a
weird.
Hawaiian dance type of thing?
That's the most useless talent I have. I used to do that all the time when I was a kid. My mom used to be like, stop doing that.
Okay, now these questions was forwarded to me, so these aren't necessarily my questions. I have to say that while going into this next question. The question is, do you sing in the shower? And if so, what songs?
Uh, I do sing in the shower. Um, I don't know. It depends on what I'm feeling in the morning. Like sometimes it's gospel, sometimes it ain't. Um, I know this morning I was like, people make the world go around.
That's it. Classic.
Yes, sir.
Um, what would you be doing right now if it wasn't for your music career?
helping my sister move. Because
What's that?
that's what I'm doing today.
Oh, you said help your
Nah,
sister. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
nah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'd probably be like boxing or something, doing some kind of combat sport.
Where have you performed previously?
Um, my last engagement was wow. No, my last engagement was in Patterson at Costello Park, New Costello Park. But I've I've um I've ministered in Maryland before. I ministered in Jersey, New York. Um, I like to go more places. Um, so they say don't despise small beginnings. So, you know, just making my way through the state, big shout outs to Patterson, New Jersey for showing me love because I get the most opportunities and people asking me to come minister in Patterson. So you got to show love to who shows love to you. But I know I still have the rest of the world to conquer, with God's help. And I'm ready for it whenever it's time. Whenever He says I'm ready is when it's time.
Absolutely. What are your what are your favorite and least favorite venues?
I don't like venues with A ceilings just because of the acoustics is awkward.
For those that don't
But
know what
that's
an A ceiling is, can you describe that?
okay. For people who don't know what an A ceiling is, you ever been to like a church and like the walls are here and then the ceiling comes up kind of like the shape of an A,
Mm-hmm.
rather than you have some places that are flat. I like flat ceilings, not the ones that come up, because the ones that come up, the sound bounces and it's very weird.
Excellent. Do you have any upcoming shows?
Yes. So this Sunday, I will be at um the amphitheater, Patterson, um for the jazz is a jazz festival. Um, yeah, it's a jazz festival. I'm forgive me, I'm trying to remember the name of the place. I think it's the amphitheater. Yeah, but they're having a annual jazz festival, and I'm grateful to be on the lineup for it this year. That's really cool.
Excellent. Do you have a flyer or something like that?
I send you the flyer.
There we go. I'll post it
You
on
put it
the
up.
screen.
Yeah.
Excellent. How do you feel the internet has impacted the music business?
I mean, the internet is winning right now, man.
What you mean by
They're
that?
impacting. um, the internet is winning. I don't think I know that almost more than 70% of the world is addicted to their phones. Probably even more. I know it has to be over 70, but people are addicted to their phones, so people can't live without it. So that's how they get and keep your attention because not only are they telling you things about people that they know and the people that, are on their team or anything like that, but it impacts the music business because that's what everybody is on. So they're gonna rule the social media, you know, because I mean they're marketing they know how to market, they figured us out. And being that they figured us out, we're in we're in a place where we need to be able to. So with that question, I also have a challenge. I challenge anybody to limit your social media use. Like put a timer on it for like 15 minutes. 15 minutes is a long time. Think about it. 15 minutes is a long time, but it doesn't feel like it's a long time when you're just on your phone. It doesn't feel like it, but we're wasting so much time, so um but yeah, so I'm sorry. What was your question again?
Is how do you feel the internet has impacted the music
The
business?
music business. Yeah, I mean it's practically owned by That's a good question, man. It's like it's so many ways I can answer this, and I'm trying to answer it in a way that everybody will understand it. Um, I think the way I answered it was just like is the best way that I could put it, man. Like it's just they really own it. Like they have control over everything. It's really interesting.
What is your favorite song to perform?
Um, I'm not sure, man. Well, so I gotten used to performing my R&B stuff, so now that I'm doing gospel, I don't really do that anymore. But there's a song that I have called "Sing the Most Beautiful Thing." It's a nice ballad, and I really do enjoy singing that song because it's a feel good song. It's R&B, but it's not offensive, and it's just something simple, something you could sing to, your significant other. You can even sing it to God if you want to. It's real simple.
Which famous musicians do you admire?
Um, Musicians or artists?
Musicians.
Musicians. Well, shout out to my man Glenn Gibson. He's a big influence to my playing. Glenn Gibson. You got shout out to my uncle Steve Cooper. He's a killer producer. He actually won a BMI Trailblazer Award for the
Hmm.
song called "Fix It" by the Group Fire, which was #1 on Airplay. Shout out to my brothers, the Group Fire. Them Snoop Evans, bass player, Mono Neon, killer bass player. Um, I'm surrounded by a lot of great musicians and a lot of great, you know, producers and people who do their thing. So it's hot. It's called.
Okay, I have another
Yeah.
question. What is the most trouble you've ever gotten into? We can skip that if you want.
Next.
What is the best advice you've been given so far?
Ooh, that's a good question. The best advice that I've ever gotten: be patient.
That's right. It's very simple and very important.
Be patient. Patience is a virtue. You know, it's a virtue, and God is God is patience. Um, if we weren't patient, see, God knows his children. God knows how to make us patient by not letting us know what's coming forward. See, a lot of us we stress about our future, but you don't see it in you try to. I mean, granted, I'm not God, but to be like God, I have to think godly. And when I think godly, I try to put myself in his shoes as far as understanding when I can. If I tell you, yo, I got to tell you something, and then I say, never mind, you're going to be like, what you want to tell me? And then you're going to be thinking about it and worrying about the wrong thing. That's how God is. God doesn't give you everything right then and there because if he gives it to you now, you're going to mess it up. So I'm not even going to tell you. You know what I mean? Just stick with me because if you stick with me, I'll be even more happy to do things for you. You know what I mean? If I steal from you one day and then you forgive me and then I ask you for something else, you might not want to. Even though God is forgiving, it's still like you should have some kind of conviction in your heart that the only the most beneficial person in my life or the most beneficial part of my life, I'm treating it like I'm taking advantage of it. We should have that kind of conviction. So patience is that important, man, because it really it's the end all be all. That's the only way. Time is the greatest equalizer. So be patient.
If you could change anything about the industry, what would it be?
Um, if I could change anything about the industry, I think that the industry should be more focused on talent than, monetary gain. I'll say it like it is, you know, because there's a lot of people that are more talented than the people that you hear on radio. Not to say that the people that are on radio aren't talented. Some are, some aren't. But the thing is, there are people who deserve to be, and they're killer singers, musicians, whatever. And it it blows the music that's on the radio out the water. So I think they should be more reliant on talent and gifts and people who actually have the gift of doing whatever it is that they're doing.
Absolutely. What is next for you?
What's next for me? Well, the thing is, I don't really know. Um, I don't know. I'm because what I did was I put it in God's hands. So whatever God is gonna, wherever He's gonna lead me is where I'm gonna go. So I would like to, be more calculated and, do more things that are, gonna be beneficial. But at the same time, where I'm at right now, I'm grateful and I'm still learning. But wherever God takes me is where I'm gonna go, and that's where I would like to be.
Okay, now I'm going freestyle.
All right, let's do it.
What what advice would you give an up and coming artist and musician that is just now realizing they have talent? What would you tell them, like, before they make their first move? What would you suggest to them?
Well, the more you use it, the more you keep it. So stay consistent. And when you get in a room, don't say much. Don't say much. Listen more than you talk. And when you listen more than you talk, you'll get the respect. And with respect comes, a lot more opportunities. People feel, okay, I could tell him something and he's going to listen. I'm not just wasting my breath. A lot of game that I've gotten was because I listened and because I didn't say much. And if I said anything, it was to get an understanding of what was happening at the right time. You know, it's not sometimes asking things at the right time isn't, you know, let me rephrase it. There's a time and place for everything. You got to ask the right questions at the right time. How do you know what are the right questions at the right time? Don't be intrusive, but be curious. Pay attention. What was that interaction? Okay. What's so substantial about what it is that you did? What's the importance of it? You know, and if somebody really gives you the game, they will. And if they don't ask. Just pay attention. Keep watching. Be patient. Sometimes your questions will be answered with actions, not with words. So if you see the answer with actions, then it'll make sense. But you just have to be patient and watch it.
Absolutely. Yeah, and to the for the next generation that are on their way
Mhm.
to, besides the talent, far as the next executive, the next CEO, the next brand maker, what
Mhm.
what would you like to say to them on what they can do to make this a better place to connect with?
What do you mean exactly? Like for the next generation, like what
That's going to
what
run the
advice
industry.
that's gonna run the industry?
Right, the new CEOs, the new executives, the new record label owners, etc.
Two things: develop the mindset and develop.
You there? What happened? Not quite sure what just happened. I'm not sure if his phone may have died, or he may have lost his signal or something. But those were just a couple additional questions I wanted to add into the conversation. I'm gonna try to give it a moment or two to see if he clicks back in or not. And if not, make sure you guys show up and show out tomorrow. No, it's that Sunday for his event. He'll be shooting me the link with all of the details about his upcoming event that he'll be partaking in. And if you are an artist or an entrepreneur, someone that's worthy of having dialogue with, hit us up. Vibe609radio@gmail.com. That's VIBE609 radio@gmail.com. And I'm gonna give you the number to the studio, which is 609-568-6147. Okay, it appears that he's not able to get back into this. So we'll follow up with him sooner than later, and we'll keep you guys abreast to the new situations going on in his career and life. With that being said, I am you, you are me, we are everything.